Hi, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I'm here with NBA champion Matt Barnes and award-winning filmmaker Joslyn Rose Lyons. And we're here to talk about the upcoming anthology series, Revolution, featuring now media personality Matt Barnes. Thank you both for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. You know, Matt, I'm a huge fan, so I won't pretend to like not know who you are or anything like that. And obviously, I watch all the smoke. Who doesn't? And I followed your trajectory over time. But there's a lot about your life that I actually really didn't know. So I didn't really know how difficult your childhood was. And I'm just wondering for you, what was it like, putting out all of that out there, and what made you want to be that vulnerable and let us know about that much?
Um, I just realized, being an athlete and the weight we carry and the responsibility we carry, I know me sharing my story resonates with people,
Hmm.
and it shows people that hey, Matt went through a similar this and that, or that, So to me, it's for the motivational side, but also to me, kind of the release side. I've been holding this in since I was a child. You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and it's a I finally have my dad, when I was nearly 30, and it's an ongoing process. So it's just like I kinda just feel like being able to be relatable, but also kind of be having to be therapeutic at the same time has been the
Hmm.
reason why I don't mind sharing.
Hmm. And I think that it just as I was watching the process with you, and as you were talking about your story, and as you talked about your dad and making that connection later on in life, I don't think a lot of people even realize like how much as even as just being somebody's child, we do want that connection. No matter how old you are. And I think that it was so great for you to put that out there. So as you
Yeah,
said, people can relate to that. So I thank you
absolutely.
for doing that. Hmm.
Thank you.
Um, Jocelyn, I want to ask you though, because obviously you're no stranger to producing and directing, but when you're taking on someone's story and piecing together the timeline and just making sure that you honor, their legacy and what they want to be told, I mean, how does that make you feel? Because it's like that's a ball of emotions. Because as I'm watching as a viewer, that takes me through something. But what is it like for you as you're putting together the story?
That's a great question. It's always different depending on the journey that you're covering. But I think the more personal, the more universal, and the more you can dig into someone's personal journey, and you'll find truths that are evergreen that we can all
Hmm.
relate to. We all go through struggles, and that's how we find our strength. And I've always been a firm believer that kind of like where you trip is your treasure. And I think it's really important for us to honor the tough times as medicine, just like the good times. So
Hmm.
that's what I hope this revolution series will show people with
Hmm.
both sides.
For sure. And Matt, I think one of the more interesting points that you made that I think it's an ongoing conversation is like, everybody's always kind of like, just shut up and hoop, right? So it's like, they don't want you guys to say something, then they want you to say something. He didn't do enough. Now he's doing too much. But I think that you've completely gone full into activism and, social justice and made sure that even in your hometown that you are still making a difference there. So what makes you be the kind of person that's not just kind of like, hey, I'm retired and I'm just gonna mind my business and just be quiet.
I just feel like I have an obligation
Hmm.
considering, my journey to get where I'm at, and as much as God has blessed me, although the journey hasn't been easy, as
Hmm.
much as I've been blessed, so I just feel like it's an obligation to give back,
Yeah.
whether it's community or, starting my kids who are all different ages at a young age, understanding business and opening them to opportunities that I didn't get till I was in my mid 30s, almost
Hmm.
40s. So it's just the ability to help shed light, to help bring awareness to people and situations and unjust situations. So I just feel like it's the incident that I had in high school when I was nearly had a green light on my head from the KKK. It really just kind of opened me up to. I was kind of in a bubble before that, and it really kind of let me know, like, hey, there are a lot of people going through a lot of different things out here. And at that time, that back in the late '90s, is when I really just started speaking up on things because it's just like
Hmm.
there's just a lot of BS going on. So started then, and it continues today. And like I said, I just feel like I'm speaking for the people who don't have a voice or the platform that I have.
Hmm. I think it's interesting because and it touches on it in the documentary, but I think people have always kind of viewed you as some kind of a villain. But then, and it just sort of that's just how it's supposed to be, right? But then once you watch the doc, you realize that that's not really it at all. So I think that it was really important that you guys did this for that reason. And Johnson, so I'm going to kick it back to you. Why do you think Matt's story was perfect to be the first episode?
I mean, I've been saying this about this project, but it's not every day that somebody goes from NBA villain to activist, and just, you know, the journey that Matt has been on is really inspiring, and I just found it to be a great way to kick off the whole series because
Mm-hmm.
you know the inner evolution that we go through is something that's very hard to document, and in
Mm-hmm.
Matt's case a lot of his journey was documented. A lot of the things that he's gone through were made public, and so it was one of those stories that was kind of already told, and it was just a matter of putting the cameras on Matt and his colleagues and friends and getting them on camera to say what this journey has been like. And I also have said that this project is not really a look back. I mean, and it's
Mm-hmm.
not really a look forward, it's really a look within. And I think Matt's journey is a really intriguing inner journey to look at. And I believe it's one of alchemy for anyone that goes through hard times and is able to
Mm-hmm.
turn them around, and make them into the powerful, successful stories that we all love and see. Usually there was a very difficult path. So Matt
Right.
has that. And yeah.
I think I was most moved when you included the clip when you were speaking with Dwayne Wade, and you included so much of the clip to talk about how he's raising his children and how he's honoring his children to be who they want to be. And I just thought that that was so powerful and so moving that you would include that into the story as well. So I mean, I don't know. There's so much about this documentary that literally, moved me to tears. So I mean, it's just incredibly well done. So Matt, what's you have so many businesses. I know that you're also, talking about cannabis wellness and different things. How in the world do you juggle all of these things at the same time? I'm just fascinated because it's like 30 different things at once.
Yeah, I mean, I just, really try to prioritize. This particular project has been, man, what, 5 years in the making? Because
At
Mm,
we both
least.
get busy with,
mm,
different projects and stuff really starts heating up. So we kind of have to shift our focus and our time to other things. But just being able to, have this many options coming in is a
yeah.
blessing. So I don't take that for granted. I prioritize. I have my assistant help,
Hmm.
uh, and I navigate the field. And
Yeah.
although it seems like a lot, I'm blessed to say that I got to play 15 years. I got to play basketball, dribble a ball, and make a bunch of money. And now I get to create content and create media and talk about sports, for the
Hmm.
next 20 or 30 years. So it's just been, I mean, I'm again, don't take the blessings for granted. And
Hmm.
that's why I just try to do everything I can do, when I can.
Yeah, and I have to just say this as we kind of wrap it up, Matt. The reason why I think that you're so effective. Obviously, one of the things I think that we all have to love is that it's so great when it's the broadcaster or the podcaster that actually knows the sport that's been in it. And so it's not this like contentious personality just talking about something that they actually haven't played. So these are, I
Right.
don't have to necessarily be messy in saying that, but you know where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
But what I do love about your commentary is that you're always very fair. You don't attack people. And I think that's
No.
why people really like your commentary. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I've had the opportunity to tell you that to your face.
Thank you. No, I appreciate. I mean, I feel like too often these days it's less about reporting on what's going on and it's more kind of personal attacks and disrespect. But at the
Right.
same time, that gets rewarded. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So it's just like the thin line of people trying to, do I want to attack my former peers or, not being able to have, like, I value my friendships more than I value the information I have to give to the world about the sport. So,
Hmm.
I'm never
Hmm.
one that's going to, although I can be critical, I can be, I don't have to disrespect that person to be critical about them. And I wish more people would get back to doing that because now it's just so, like you said, messy. Like they want to
Yeah.
be messy. They want the clickbait and forget that you're disrespecting the whole man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or a
Exactly.
man's family,
Hmm.
so I just
Exactly.
try to keep it, keep the integrity, as high as I can.
Hmm. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate both of you guys. This is so well done. And once people see this, I hope that they'll continue, of course, to be fans, but they'll definitely see a different side to you, Matt, that I think that was important for people to know, so that they're not sort of running with a villain narrative because it's not like that at all. He's a great guy and a great
I
father. And I'm good.
Thank you,
I
thank
gotta
you.
watch. I gotta watch the boys podcast.
Yes, please do.
I know, right? That's so cute. Once again, my name is Koku with blackfilm.com, and I am here with NBA champion Matt Barnes and award-winning filmmaker Joslyn Rose Lyons. The new anthology series Revolution is coming up next, and coming up on December 13th. Matt is the episode that kicks it off. Hashtag Matt Barnes Revolution, December 13th, on Amazon and Apple. Thanks, everyone, for your time.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Bye-bye. If you want to see more content like this on blackfilm.com, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell.